Hello, everybody. This is Corporal Hicks, aka Aaron Percival, and joining me as always is.
Ridgetop, and my real name is Adam Zeller.
And welcome to the Alien vs Predator Galaxy YouTube channel. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. And if you're returning, thank you for coming back. And for this video, we're going to be doing a Let's Play of one of my pieces of Alien gaming personal history, I guess. So this is a throwback to the time when we didn't have machines more powerful than the Apollo capsules in our pockets. And I had to carry around a Game Boy with me when I didn't have my desktop in front of me. So when I wasn't playing AVP2 in my teens, this was the game that I had on me if I wanted to play Aliens. It is a game we've revisited recently on our live streams, and it put me in the mood to do a proper Let's Play. So this is a full 2-hour long complete Let's Play of Aliens Thanatos Encounter for the Gameboy Color. It was developed by, on the tin, I believe it says Crawfish, but it was actually farmed out to another developer whose name I can't currently remember because I am not very well prepared. So I'm just having a quick look. There we go. Okay. So the developer's down as Crawfish, but it was farmed out to an Australian game developer called Wicked Witch Software.
Cool.
As always, we'll be quiet for the intro sequences so you can read through the text and pay attention to what's happening on the screen. And then we'll start chatting as we start playing. So are you ready? Ready to start?
Yep, let's do it.
Oh, and THQ published it. Lies. It's a Gearbox situation.
They'll take the credit, though.
So I've already played through all this, by the way. This is pre-recorded. That's a giant freighter.
The Thanatos.
What an unlucky name to give to something. The depiction of the Conestoga in this is actually really good, I think, for this era.
I actually never had a Game Boy Color. I only had a Game Boy Pocket.
So I think it's 4 or 5 different characters that you can pick from, all with varying levels of stamina and speed. So I think I'm going to go through here and show you all of them, with the highest ranking being, I think, Corporal Brook. Stamina, I think, is health. Speed is what it says on the tin. And I'm fairly sure I am going to go for, Mr. Private Chiro, because he's a speedy boy.
Oh, look at all those young'uns.
I know. That's what you get when you have a training mission. So a lot of the missions end up being this, basically. You go to an area and you have to kill all the aliens or collect other survivors, generally both. The later missions, you end up like various other bits and pieces you have to do, like get some keys or pick up a weapon or rescue one specific survivor. I think I'm going to show it off, but maybe later once I've cleared that bit up. But I actually quite like the representation of everything, to be perfectly honest.
So those are the survivors you're collecting there, right?
Yes, the green guys. So, yeah, I quite like the representation of the dropship in this.
Yeah.
And you never played this growing up, did you?
I did not, no. So this will be my first experience going all the way through this one.
I think it's very... I mean, narrative-wise, it's quite simplistic. Oh, that's our first enemy.
Facehugger.
So there are... Oh, was that in the rulebook? There are varying variants of the facehugger as well.
Oh.
Ah, and here's our first alien. So I never owned the manual for the game. I ended up buying a cartridge off a buddy for like £5 in school. So I always put him in the context of the other games. So here you kind of briefly saw the left and right mechanic, which I think was really advanced for the time. It was always something that really impressed me about the game, and I can't think of any of the other games really doing that. So there, what you saw was a secret area on the map. So another thing that I really like about the game, again thinking it's advanced for its time, is that if you die, you then have the option to spawn into the game again as a different character, find the Alien Hive on that level, and if you can battle through it and rescue the one that's just died, you get him back, and you can spawn back into the game as him.
Didn't Infestation do something similar to that?
Infestation did the same on DS, but we're talking 2001, 2002 for this. So, you know, it was a good few years before it. And I think that's incredibly ahead of its time. So there it is. Because this being the first level, it was kind of simple to get to. You fight through more and harder enemies in the later levels. But yeah, I think that feature is brilliant.
That is a cool concept, yeah. You rescued yourself.
And what I was saying before I jumped to that bit was, again, I'll interrupt myself here. They are the worst enemies in the game, in my opinion. Like the most dangerous enemies in the game, because there are certain survivors that if you go up to, like we just saw, the chest burst. And more often than not, I always tended to find myself trapping myself. So the chest burster did a ton of damage when it came out, and it was a nightmare. So I think eventually, when there's just like one-off survivors that you have to go rescue in the later missions, I would get like dead hesitant around them. With this mission, it was kind of more difficult because you just have to get so many of them. You're just running through them constantly.
Yeah. So this is old school in that you have fixed lives, right? Before you get like a total game over.
Yes. So 4 or 5 different characters, but each time you die, you spawn back into the game as that character, but you have to do it all over again. Which again, you know, it's all similar to Infestation. Infestation seemed to take a lot of cues from this, in that, you know, you had to... It was a little bit more advanced in that in Infestation you had to find the Marines first as you was exploring the Soloco. But then it was the same basic gist, you know, you could run through the game as these different characters and also rescue them if they got face-hugged. Well, killed, sorry, if they got killed.
Another key difference is Infestation being a side-scroller and this being top-down.
Yeah. And also, with it being the DS as well, you had more narrative in there, so you got like dialogue from the characters and stuff like that. So one of the ways they differentiated the different characters was in that you'd have different dialogue as you progress through the story based on your character, each being individualized and stuff like that. So another feature of this particular game. Sorry, I tried to talk about it twice, but I kept interrupting. One of the detractions of pre-recording all the footage. But I actually found it quite hard, so that's why I pre-recorded stuff. So I was having to make sure we got complete playthroughs of the missions. I think I'm going to interrupt myself again there because I think we've just seen one of the worst parts of the game is that the enemy AI, the alien AI, tends to get stuck on some of the scenery, which is, I think, easily the worst part of Thanatos Encounter, because it does make it a little easier for you as you're playing, but on a technical level, the pathfinding is less than stellar there, unfortunately.
They couldn't exactly patch it out back then.
And I think the game was essentially built by one person. It was one developer who I'm hoping to reach out to at some point soon. Darkness tried to in the past, but never heard back. I'm gonna try again because I'd love to have him on the podcast. So that's the first mission done. No fatalities. We've made it all the way through. So if you are playing, there's a password.
If you use the password to get to where you left off,
I'm going to show you this.
Do you start with a fresh round of lives?
No. So, do you remember in the olden days how you get different passwords based on how you did?
I always thought it was if you get to a certain point in the game, the password is to get you back to that point before they had like level select.
So this will bring us back to that level with the exact same characters that we had. So the password changes depending on who's died and blah 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 and stuff like that.
So no making it easy for you.
No. So I just wanted to show off the password screen here with the retinal scan, which I thought was really charming. Like that was just another feature that I was like, oh, this is so themey. Well, not quite themey because that's not really something you see in the Alien universe, but it's trying to make its own flavour. So what we're doing here, we're in the docking bay corridors, and we've just got to kill more stuff. So while a lot of the objectives remain similar, and I'll kind of forgive it for being, it is a Gameboy Color game. There's not exactly, while I've been praising a lot of the mechanics and stuff like that, it's not exactly the most powerful hardware. But one of the ways that I think the game sort of tries to keep it still feeling fresh while being a lot of the same technical objectives is the environment changes as you progress through the ship. So we were just in this, giant, huge hallway, and I suppose this isn't the best example of it here because we're still in like a big hall here. But the aesthetic starts to change. So even the corridors will start to change as we get further on through the ship. So we'll get to like crew quarters and it'll start to become a bit more sort of hotel-y and stuff like that. We'll see as we play on, but that was one of the things I liked. So this enemy is the drone, is what the core book. We're not playing. I'm not playing the RPG. The manual calls these particular aliens. So I think I was saying earlier, I didn't have the book, so I was putting them in the context of the other games, because I think that's how a lot of like fan lexicon comes about, is how the games name them. So I always thought those were like the runners, but no, drone is what this game calls them.
Yeah, they love to get stuck. Oh.
Yeah, see, it kind of helps you out in that it gives you a bit of a free shot sometimes. But see, yeah, look, you've got a different coloured face hugger there. And in general, I think it just denotes the amount of health they have. So we're rocking up the shotgun at the minute, which is generally bit of a one-shot killer. And then, oh, took a bit of damage there. And got a blind kill on the alien anyway. See, yeah, throughout the game, and levels, there's health packs, and it just gives you plus 20% to your health. There's not a lot of it, because like I said, you know, as I was playing through, I died plenty of times, and I was used to. I'm suspecting he's going to be a fatal, yeah, chestburster, sorry. If you ever see a lone survivor kind of stuck on the scenery, he's going to pop. What do you think of the bird's eye view?
You know, I've always kind of preferred the side scrollers to the top downs. Or isometric, you know, kind of having that midway point. So it's never been my preference, the top down stuff.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm still down to give it a shot.
Do you think it works in terms of theme? Do you think it feels like it suits an Alien game?
Yeah, I guess now the kind of games with this would be like twin stick shooters, right? But definitely I mean, it portrays that Aliens vibe well. I mean, even with something just like the HUD, but the environment, the floor grading, your marine, the aliens, you can tell what they are. The aliens, I don't know, maybe they could be a little bigger. But
don't jinx it, Adam. The drone's the most basic of the alien enemies. I do actually quite like the sprites for them, though, you know, and as we'll see other variants.
But you're right in that this was the original. I mean, Game Boy Color was still the original Game Boy hardware, just with color at it. It wasn't until the Game Boy Advance, I think, that it upped its specs a little bit, and then you had the DS after that. I think this was one of a few. There was AVP Last of Us Clan. That was another one, and that one I think
that was technically the first AVP game.
No, I think the Super Nintendo one was the first one. I think Last of Us Clan came right after.
We talked about this recently on one of the arcade streams, didn't we? No, it was this. Oh, no. So, Last of His Clan was 93, SNES was 93, and the arcade was 93. It was either this or... It was either Last of His Clan or the SNES one. I'll have a look for the comments. I'm sure we talked about it on the arcade live stream. But anyway, sorry I interrupted you. I assume you were counting the amount of Game Boy games. In which case it would have been Last of the Clan.
The only
Alien
ones
3.
At the top of my head. That's right, Alien 3. Okay.
So there are the occasional like little secret corridors like that aren't entirely obvious. But yeah, those are the only 3 I can think of for the Game Boy, including this one.
It would be awesome. I mean, I know it's just a pipe dream and we always talk about this, like the rights situation and licensing being complicated for this franchise. But it would be nice to get like a retro games pack with all the old stuff, you know, like the original Nintendo, the SNES, the Genesis games.
Because a lot of other franchises have started doing things like that, haven't they?
Yeah, there's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game coming out that has like all the old arcade and console games, and so I know the fans are really excited about that one.
There used to be rumors back in the advanced days of them doing a new Alien and AVP game on the Game Boy Advance. Nothing obviously ever came of it, unfortunately, but I always kind of wanted them to do a Alien trilogy. because they had a Doom on the Advanced and they had Duke Nukem on the Advanced, and I was like, if they can do this, why can't they just do Alien Trilogy on here as well? And then I eventually discovered, you know, Duke Nukem wasn't a port of the Duke Nukem 3D by any stretch. I was like, yeah, okay, I understand. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen more Alien or Predator or AVP games on the handhelds, because the games on, well, this one anyway, and Infestation are actually some of my favourites. Infestation's brilliant.
And the developers behind Infestation, Way Forward, they still make games like that. The like retro style games. And
Castlevania
they do it really
kind
well.
of games, isn't it?
Yeah. So I would love to see another one from them. You're also seeing games come out these days called like boomer shooters, I guess, that are like intentionally retro-looking shooters, and they just announced a Warhammer one. There's a few others like Proteus, and there's this other one called Dusk. That's what it's called. That one's really good. So I would love to see some, smaller scale retro style Alien or Predator games or PvP games come out today. Like, have Way Forward do another one, since they have the experience with Infestation.
Adam, it's our first big boy.
It's the soldier. The soldier instead of the warrior, huh?
So I always used to think of them. So if I thought of the other one as the runner, this was this was Aliens as warrior. Or what did AVP2 used to call that class? Was it the drone?
They had yeah, it was just the drone. They didn't have a warrior, I think, for AVP2.
So I always sort of like followed the AVP2 naming.
And of course it wouldn't be Alien without flickering lights in the hallway.
Indeed. Like, I just think it just feels so Alien. For the time. So I think there's 10 or 11 missions in total. So the door at the top of the dog bay has completely been locked due to heavy xenomorph activity. Find the key card and use it at the red security panel.
So we find the key card.
Indeed. So we actually get something a little different for this, but for this game anyway. But yeah, if you ever played Alien Trilogy, it's nothing but find the switch.
Music has switched up a little bit.
I love the music in this game as well. I just love some of the retro game music, I listen to the Alien Trilogy soundtracks so often.
Yeah, that one, that was great because it was right at that PlayStation CD era where we would start getting beyond the 8-bit stuff, Or however many bits ye old game music was.
Well, PlayStation was 32-bit, I think.
Those were the graphics, though, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. No, PlayStation had like CD quality audio, I think, for the first time in a console.
Oh, we've actually got the pulse rifle. Get that firepower. I love the sprites for the shooty, the pew pew.
Yeah, it's got the pew pew sound too.
I find it so charming. It's actually reasonably powerful when they stop getting stuck indoors. Again, that pathfinding and that environmental stuckiness is easily the worst thing about the game, in my opinion. Because it does make it...
It kills the tension a little bit.
Yeah, it kills the tension. Quite right. And it's kind of funny as well, because with Infestation, I picked that game up as well, but you play most of that game without a motion tracker. And then when you find the motion tracker, I think that kills the tension in there, because that had been a really atmospheric game. But in here, you're playing with. I think I just crapped my pants in those two soldiers. In here, you play with the motion tracker from the start, but because of the top-down view, it does sort of like limit you as to what you're seeing. So even with the motion tracker, there's still a bit of tension in your progression because you can't just wildly run in, even if you know something's in there. And like the overhead obstructions and stuff like that works to the game's advantage. There we go, we've got the red card. Oh, that's not the security panel. This confused me. I wasn't sure what was the red panel it wanted me to do.
No, it has been a while since our last Let's Play, hasn't it? It was AVP 2, right?
Yes, just before Hunting Grounds came out, I think. So yeah, I wasn't quite sure how to pop off the red key card here. Because I was like, are these the red things? Well, this came about after doing some of the live streams of this game. I was like, yeah, I'm going to sit and do a full one of this.
Yeah, we've been doing live streams a lot more often now, but we haven't lost sight of the Let's Plays. They've just been on a little bit of a hiatus, but they're back now.
You've got one right here. You're watching one.
Exactly.
So, I think this is the genuinely first major difficult level in the game. Because it's a longer one. And there's a lot of enemies in this one.
Ooh, the environment's really changed now.
Mm-hmm. So we're into like the more industrial sort of area. This is the cargo bay. And the music changes with each level as well. So the texture and the flavour of the missions you play in just change, and I think it makes a real difference. And we have our first acid spitting soldier. I love that the game incorporates acid spitting as a ranged weapon. It is something that I don't think. Well, I guess the franchise in general, it's such a mechanic that the game could take, that games could use a lot. Later, with Colonial Marines and Fireteam Elite, we did get spitters, yeah. But it took until Colonial Marines really for that to come into the sort of more mainline games on the big consoles. But it's a feature that I've always thought would have been a great weapon. And I think it's another one of those ones where Thanatos is a bit more ahead of its time. You didn't see that in AVP 2, you didn't see that in AVP. I don't think you saw it in Trilogy. You played Resurrection, didn't you? Did you see it in that? I never played that one.
I believe some of them did spit in that one, but I could be wrong about that. See, that's one I'd really want to play, is Resurrection on PlayStation. That game was just so difficult, but in terms of like horror shooter aesthetic, like for the PlayStation era, that game just was awesome on the feel front, just it was really ahead of its time in terms of having a survival horror shooter.
And the control scheme.
Yeah, that too. It was one of those, people think of Halo when it comes to the traditional console FPS control scheme, but Alien Resurrection was before that, and essentially was that same type of deal.
And was criticised for it. So here we're showing off the power loader. And in the game, essentially all it comes to is just being a lot of armor. It makes you very slower. Fortunately, you don't die when you run out of health. Yeah, see there, you just drop out of it. And the levels do tend to give you multiple power loaders to... I think I must have healed there and cut that. They do tend to give you multiple throughout the level. So, like this one, there's so many aliens in it compared to the other ones. But I will admit, I'm not a huge fan of the power loaders in this game. Purely because, yes, it just slows you down and gives you lots of health. It's like, I'm not sure how better they could have implemented it, but it don't quite work for me in this one, I will be honest. And we found the Alien Hive on this mission. So I think that you're going to see me cheesing something here. Is like how I was saying earlier, when you spawn back into the mission to like go and save somebody, it resets your progress. When you go in and out of the hive, it respawns the pickups. So a way to cheese like extra health and ammo.
Oh, so you're just a little farmer here then.
I am, yeah. Because this mission I find really difficult. And the health throughout the level, it gives you health, but it gives you sporadic health. And I was really struggling on this one, and it was just a easy way to do it. To be fair, I cut a lot of the cheesing in there to the point where I was back at full health. But you could see what I was doing. And it is hard fighting through those hives, to be fair. Look how many aliens this level's throwing at me. But this is why I went for the speedy boy. You know, he is the speediest character you can pick up, so he's able to outrun the aliens reasonably well. But he sacrifices that for health, so not all of the characters are able to run this fast.
I like how they tell the low marine, don't come back here until all the aliens are dead.
Yeah. Do your job. Don't the drones give you runner vibes though, with the red tint?
Yeah, definitely. Also, apologies for my voice being a little hoarse. I'm just getting over a cold. So
it's fine. It's early in the morning for me, so I've got morning voice.
Oh, he's stuck.
Oh,
he's unstuck. Yeah, they do like to run into walls, don't they? You weren't kidding about that.
So that is easily the least impressive technical thing about the game. But then I kind of appreciate it for the chance to get the kill in. I did actually try and do... Oh, I sort of killed myself there. And there's very much media coverage on this game. You know, I tried to go and find like magazine articles and news articles and stuff like that. And there was very little, which was unfortunate. Review-wise, I think it only did middling, you know. And which I find disappointing. Granted, I wasn't, you know, I was a kid, so it's not like I'm buying every single Game Boy game going around. But yeah, I really do love this one. Oh, I'm crapping it.
Yeah, although I did have a Game Boy Pocket, I think I was more into the Sega Game Gear, if you ever played that one.
Oh, good God, are you that old?
Yeah, I mean, we both are.
You're a couple of years older than me. No, I never got a Game Gear. Did they do any Alien games on the Game Gear? Was there an Alien 3?
Look it up.
I think there's probably an Alien 3.
Probably the Genesis version of Alien 3. Let's see here.
So we've got the key card, so we could come through the level here. God, low down on health I am as well. This is going to get so many times it would come to like this situation where I was like nearly dead.
Yeah, Alien 3 was on the Game Gear.
Alien 3 was on everything. I think that ended up being the same developer as Trilogy, didn't it? It weren't like all the Alien 3 games Probe? Of varying degrees.
Well, I know the one on Super Nintendo was pretty different. Let's see.
I've never finished one of those games.
Yeah, those are
Alien 3.
hard. No, I think it was Acclaim Studios London
So.
that did Alien 3 on the Genesis.
Okay. So I'm going and cheesing the Hive thing here. I couldn't. Speaking of the Alien 3 stuff, I couldn't understand what the game wanted me to do on Game Boy. Like graphically speaking as well, it's like I don't know what's happening here. I don't know what you want me to do. But the Mega Drive version I always enjoyed.
Man, you were right. I did not realize the Game Gear was that old. It came out in 1990, and Game Boy Color didn't hit the market until 98.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Game Boy Color was earlier than that for some reason.
So I got my first normal Game Boy when I was 5, so 95. And then the Pocket was about... Pocket was when I was around 6 years old. Not 6, 11 years old.
Yeah, that came out in 96, Pocket.
Did it really?
At least in the States.
See, I'm sure I didn't get a Pocket until I was about 10, 11. And I didn't get a colour till I was about 12. I don't know if that was just... was not buying them straight away. But this game was about 2001, 2002, 2003 time. Still remember AVP News posting about it. Oh, look at all those enemies on the tracker, Adam. I swear to God, I'm sure this is the hardest mission in the game. And we have a bronze-coloured soldier.
There's movement all over the place.
You know, I was kind of disappointed when you sent me the manual. The unit.
Yeah, it was pretty bare bones, wasn't it?
Like, wait till we meet the next enemy, and we'll reveal the what crawfish.
The name. You thought they would have some like super cool alien class name.
Yeah. Or I was always curious as to, you know, maybe they call them Praetorians or stuff like that. Because even though Adam hasn't ever played this, his partner has the actual game with the manual that I never had.
Yeah, like, I'll just say it. The Praetorian is called the Guardian boss. Which I mean, that's what a Praetorian is, right? It's a Queen Guardian. So.
But the next level up, Adam. The next level up.
The alien Queen boss.
No, from where we're at now, the soldiers. So
oh yeah. So you have the soldier to the soldier boss to the advanced soldier boss.
Ugh, I just sort of rolled my eyes. I was like, no. Why couldn't you have something a bit more thematic?
So for the description, the soldier is slightly larger than the drone. It is generally faster and stronger than the drones. Soldier boss. The next step up in terms of difficulty to kill within the soldier alien species. An advanced soldier boss. Of the soldier aliens, the advanced species is the most difficult to eliminate, especially due to a special move where they roll around as a method of protection. Do they go roly poly on you?
Oh man, you'll see. You'll see. I think that was it Diane Carey, the author of DNA War and Cauldron, was looking to this game for inspiration there with the Battle Ball aliens.
Oh, that's right.
Actually, well, that's the thing in the arcade game, isn't it? The Chrysalis alien, I think it is. So we're still on the cargo level here, so you're still starting to see some continuity within the aesthetic. So we're still at the grey sort of bare metal flooring.
Oh, he's getting you.
Yes. Like, the power loaders make you so slow. But graphically speaking, you know, and sprite speaking, I like it. It's simple, it's effective. It looks like a power loader.
Yeah.
And I think graphically speaking, you can say the same of pretty much everything in this game. You know, it looks the part. I think you can actually use your medkits to heal up the power loader as well, if I remember rightly. I don't know why I'm going back up here. I think the only time we've ever actually seen the power loader used for being more than just an armor sink was cloning Marines, right? We actually got to use the left and right hands. Although that mission was bugged up as hell, wasn't it?
Yeah, where you fight the Raven.
So here I demonstrate one of the other features that I think is well ahead of its time in this game, and that is the left and right hand mechanic. So the Game Boy has two buttons, it has an A and a B, and it quite simply here is A's one hand, B's the other hand, and the game lets you, well, it takes that into account. So you can put a weapon in your left, you can put a weapon in your right. So throughout the earlier parts of the game, I was running it with just the one weapon with the motion tracker. So that's another, you know, way of tension with the game as well, because you can then go for more firepower and then lose a bit of that foresight. Here I'm running the grenade launcher and the pulse rifle, although I hate the grenade launcher. I hate the grenade launcher so much. It's a really slow rate of fire.
That is a cool dual wield mechanic, though. I dig that.
And it was something, you know, you kind of see a bit of that with the way Clone and Marines treated the motion tracker, in that you don't always have the motion tracker up. I think it's a really, you know, a lot of people tend to call the motion tracker like a good tension mechanic, because you have that steady pulse, which I think probably works better in the newer games and the movies, where you do get that pulse, that, you know, that heartbeat, because in the games it tends to give you a bit of foreknowledge. So to then remove it from the games, I think, is a really good way of making it a little bit more tense for you. But then later on we'll see you can get weapons that require both hands to use. So you're only rocking one weapon, but you're still losing your motion tracker. To be fair, the two-handed weapons are better. It's the flamethrower and the smart gun, I think. Have we hit the flamethrower? I can't remember what that sprite is.
Looks like you're switching
Oh no, it's
here.
pulse rifle. It's a pulse rifle. We're dual wielding pulse rifles, so you can dual wield the same weapons, but they both use the same ammo pool. Yeah, that I really do like the dual hand mechanic. I really hope I can get the developer on the show. I'd love to talk about some of these. Here we are. There's an incinerator. Easily my favorite mission, my favorite weapon in the game.
A game where the flamethrower was actually good? Well, except for isolation. It was good in isolation.
It did the job in isolation. So here, oh, I kind of walked away. So, it's the soldier boss, Adam. Or is this the advanced? No, this is the soldier boss, because he's still got some of the ridges. So that's another thing I really love about the game is the death sprites there. So depending on the weapon that you use him, for the most part, might not be one for every single one, but there is unique animations. So, you know, with the flamethrower, we saw him go up in a ball of flame, molten flame. And then I think the grenades have like a sort of explosion-y looking death. It's small touches, but it's touches that I think work very well. I think there is some good level design going off as well, because, you know, you have some of these wider areas, but then it brings it back into like tighter quarters here, like around the cargo crates, which kind of helps you funnel the aliens a little bit in terms of like weapons like that, but can also make you get pummeled if there's enough of the aliens in there. I have very little bad to say about the game for its faults, you know. This will always been a charming and kind of ahead of its time early Alien game for me. I really do think you should pick up that cartridge, man, and give this a go.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely try it. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it like you did, but
What's your favourite handheld for Alien and Predator? Not that Predators had much representation.
does PSP count? Because I can say AVPR.
I'll give you AVPR. You can have that. I think I'd still rather play this over AVPR. Even though I did like AVPR. The game, not the movie.
This is proper retro gaming, right? Like very old school retro gaming. And
this makes me sad. That statement makes me sad, Adam.
Well, maybe not, because it was early 2000s, right? Like this was close to the same time we were getting EVP
Still
and
20,
EVP2, which is hard
still
to
20 years ago.
think about. But I guess it's actually 10 years before a game is considered retro, which is weird.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Good God.
So like
AVP
Halo 3 is considered retro at this point.
No, that's not retro. That's outrageous. See, I didn't have to do a security panel for that key card.
This feels like an old like Nintendo game, you know? Like
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a game that came out in 2001, which depending on what you're in the mood for could be to its credit for sure.
See, when I think of retro gaming, I think of naturally older stuff. Because at least this game tells me what it wants me to do. I think that's grenade ammo, what I just picked up there. The apple. It's when I can't figure out what a game wants me to do that I tend to think of it as retro.
Yeah. And that's a lot of old games where it's just like, you know, kill the enemies and get from point A to point B, and that's pretty much the game, right? Like,
I think it's switch finding's more a thing in the older games.
Yeah.
More maze switch findy kind of things. Like, to some extent, Trilogy does that too, yeah.
Yeah, it does. It's kind of like Doom in that regard, right? Like, find the door switch, find the key card.
Mm-hmm.
But that game, like, that game really built atmosphere. Like, that was one of the first Alien games I thought that really got that atmosphere nailed. It was Alien Trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if this, I mean, yes, this is identifiable as Alien, right? But I don't know if it quite gets there in terms of the mood, you know?
That's fair.
Because it's just so retro. Like, if you were to say play this game or play Infestation, like, I probably want to play Infestation, just because I feel like, yes, it also looks very retro, but it's just that bit more with the graphics, with the enemy types.
It's definitely got the game did have a lot of tension early on before you found that motion tracker.
Yeah.
It did. And to be fair, I recognise there's a little bit of nostalgia colouring my my memory of this one. Because yeah, for my childhood there was teenagehood, there was two games. It was this and AVP2. You know, that is what I think of. So I told you there's plenty of power loaders started around the cargo box.
So you just keep them around there.
Well, it's because this is the docking area. This is not docking area, the cargo area. So it makes sense to have loaders around to move all these crates. And then as you move on through the game into other areas, you stop seeing them. You know, some thought went into the level design in that regards. It's brilliant music, mate. And that's another thing there is some of the graphic disappears.
Oh, really? Where was that?
Yeah. So when I was firing, you know, it just sort of half the alien disappeared and half the fire sprite disappeared. I don't know how common that was for Game Boy Color games. I suppose that's another problem with revisiting stuff from, you know, when you were as a kid. You know, I didn't have every game going. I didn't have a job. So it's not like I could buy whatever game I wanted, was it? So you don't really get a full spread of the experiences on the generation.
Yeah.
Like on the Game Boy Advance, not Advance Color, all I really remember is The Mummy Returns and this. Oh, and Harry Potter. I remember Harry Potter. All wildly different games. But yeah, this is my favourite of those ones. And even though, you know, complete game time is around 2 hours, you know, I still got plenty of play out of this because, like I said, the missions are difficult, so there is a lot of replay. You know, there is like exploring to find that hive and occasionally having to get there. So I always found a lot of replayability in this. You know, I don't think as a kid I sat down and I 2-houred it. You know, I think I played it and got my password and came back to it because that last mission might have took me a good few tries and a good few run-ins to the hive to get through. I think this is our last mission in the cargo bay though. I think we're going to move to a different aesthetic shortly.
You roasted him.
It's best weapon. The best weapon in the game. My humble opinion, anyway. There, did you see it? Did you see
that? Yeah, I saw him kind of... It almost looked like screen tearing a little bit. Yeah,
and again,
yeah, right there.
Yeah. And that's some flamethrower ammo. See, I noticed a secret looking thing there. I always found it more... I don't know if it's just because he used the flamethrower more, but it always looked more noticeable with the flamethrower, so I never knew if it was related or not. Feels like this is the longest mission so far, I'm not sure what.
Is there a map system at all, or no?
No map
Just
system.
Just gotta find your way around, huh?
Indeed.
See, that would be tough for me with a top-down game like this.
Yeah. There was some level of memorizing the maps that had to go off. What am I doing now? Why am I going back up?
Probably because you're getting lost.
Literally just come down here. I have no idea why I did that. And you went faster when you went diagonal. Look at that speedy power over there. That I do remember. So I recorded and put this all together over several different playthroughs a good few weeks ago, so I can't remember exactly what goes off.
Yeah, usually when we do a Let's Play, we'll record it as we're playing, but some games it's easier to just collect the footage first and do the commentary. That's what we did with Blackout, I think.
Mm-hmm. It's hilarious. I played through that at work. I recorded that at work. A good many years ago. I still enjoy Blackout.
Oh yeah, Blackout's great.
That game didn't get the love it deserved. So after much running around because I couldn't figure out where the game wanted me to go, this mission did actually force me through the hive to progress. Which was different, which was very different to the other ones. And I liked that actually. Because if you're playing well, you're not being forced into into the hive. I do kind of wish we'd have seen more resin, actual hive in these little areas.
So this is the hive. I thought this was just like a...
Well, it's for the all intents and purposes, it's the hive because this is where you would find. This is the environment where you find your characters glued to the wall.
I see.
But as we move into the later levels, you will start to see proper infested areas of the ship.
Oh, so the hive resin is in other areas.
Yeah.
This to me looks just like there's a
service tunnel.
Partially flooded. Yeah, like a sewer or something.
I completely agree there. So just to flavour up that area a bit more, I'm obsessed with the hive scenery anyway, but it just would have been nicer to see this particular kind of area a little bit more flavourful, I suppose. Especially if the map's actually forcing you through it, like it is on this particular level.
But up until now, these locations were like optional secrets.
Yes, yeah, that's right. Where you only needed to come if you died. And it was a timed thing as well, you had, I think it was 200 seconds.
Yeah, that.
So what's that, about three and a bit minutes? Yeah, that is, honestly, I think I preferred it over the smart gun when you get the smart gun. So here I get to progress in the map. Yeah, I think that particular mission was the most confused I was throughout through my playthrough.
Are you only using the one flamethrower right now? Or do you have two equipped?
No, so this is one of the ones where it requires you to use both hands to use it.
Oh,
this and the smart gun.
That's why it says equip left and equip right. That's a little confusing, but
it does tell you in the game or in the manual or something, where that sometimes there are stronger weapons that will force you to not have the motion tracker.
But you can equip dual pulse rifles.
Yes. Or you can have like a pulse rifle and a shotgun. Oh no, so we are still in the cargo bay. Mother is experiencing difficulties communicating with the ship. Due to these difficulties, we did not have any information on this. So this mission was it. Just crack on with it. I can't remember this mission. But we have 2 power loaders straight away, so I assume it's going to be another horrendous one.
I do like that, where it gives you a bit of ceiling texture that you can walk under.
It gives a bit of flavour to the bird's eye.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, look at that bad boy.
Oh, is that our advanced soldier boss?
I think that's our advanced soldier boss.
Yeah, he's a big one.
But he got stuck, and he dropped the key we need. So that was a little anticlimactic. As I'm fairly sure this, actually thinking about it, this mission is just kill stuff in here, pick up the key, and then go through the door. I know we did see a bit of that texture tear there, or whatever the terminology is for it on the Game Boy Color. And there too, yeah. So it was not just the flamethrower.
He's a little tenacious one.
Can you see why I always thought of them as runners?
Yeah, they ran fast. Wasn't the first game to ever call them runners AVP2? That's where that came from?
I think so, yeah. So they were dog aliens in Trilogy, and then I think there was like young dog aliens. Don't think they were in AVP1 at all. But then again, the aliens in that game were incredibly fast anyway. That's Quake era. So you see, I've opted to go back to the one-handed and have the motion tracker here, because I was starting to run into the aliens a lot. And since I don't have the flamethrower, it's like, yeah, I'm not feeling as brave.
Yeah, the soundtrack is pretty jamming.
I wonder if there's rips of it or if I can rip it. This is one I need to get going for my jam sessions. And you're even able to turn it off and the sound effects off. I mean, it'd be criminal, but the menu lets you. I think that was a typical feature, wasn't it?
I think so. Controlling the music.
Yeah. Here we are. We're out of the cargo bay now. But we have no idea what's happening. I wonder what I'm going to have to do to progress. Here you are. Look at this lovely carpet. We're into the
living quarters now.
I don't think these are the living quarters, but the more inhabited areas of the ship. Look at all those pings on the tracker as well. Look at that. But I can't go through there. That's going to be fun when I have to do that bit. There we are. You saw the battle ball.
Yeah, he's rolling.
Yeah, so you can't damage them when they're doing that. So that's one of the advanced soldier bosses. But again, it gets stuck on the scenery, so it's kind of like, ugh. So that was a second anticlimactic fight with the advanced soldier boss. This reminds me of the comic Havoc. You know, the ones with the shifting personalities. Point of views. You know, because that was set on like this luxury cruise liner. You remember?
That's another one I need to reread. Havoc.
You reread it recently.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, but that wasn't a luxury cruise liner, was it? That was like a.
Yeah, it was like a really fancy cruise liner. I mean, the level design for this game doesn't quite look that luxurious yet, but you know, when you get to the crew quarters later on, it really gives off a vibe that reminded me of Havoc. That was a good comic. That was a good interview. I really enjoyed talking to Mark.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember.
You remember which comic I'm talking about now?
I had to just give myself a visual refresher on it.
You kind of see where I'm coming from then with
yeah. Yeah, that's one of my favorite Aliens locations is the space luxury liner.
See, you'll love Thanatos.
What was the comic that it was like a resort planet? You know what I'm talking about?
Was that the one with the chest burster with the disease?
I think so, because it ends with like some woman next to him on the bench that she like melts away or something.
I think that's Kidnapped. Aliens Kidnapped. I think it's like a 3-part series where it's mainly around this disease chest burster, and you don't like get to see. you don't see like any advanced grown adult. That's the word I'm looking for. You don't see any adult aliens in that one. If I remember rightly, that was a fun one. I liked that one. I like it when they try different things there and not having like an adult alien. Probably a risky take for the comics at the time.
Yeah, this one's a cool looking environment. I like all the grunge.
Yeah. So like it doesn't look like the crew quarters, not crew quarters, like the guest quarters, but it does look a bit more lived in.
Like a main thoroughfare or something.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way of putting it. There we are, we've got the key. I don't know what I'm doing, but I know I need a key. I think this little area right's got a bit difficult. Or towards the bottom.
Spitting the green goo at you.
Would you be interested in seeing like a newer game take on like more of a leisure location?
Yeah. I mean, Resident Evil has done that a bit as well. They had a couple games take place on luxury liners, and it's just a cool setting. Especially you add the fact that it's in space too. Like that's.
I've always found it a bit of a random thing to like as much as you do. I never understood where it came from.
I don't know. It's like one of those, I guess, especially in a horror context, right? People think of cruise ships as all like fun and nice and happy and stuff. So seeing that kind of locale in a horror setting, I don't know. It's especially like it's the same thing with the Fifth Element as well, right? Like that was just a cool location, just a spaceship luxury liner, you know. So I don't know. It's hard to like justify why I like it. It's like, why do I like underwater bases? I don't know. They're just cool.
Okay, that's fair. Why do I like Hive so much? 'Cause it's like being inside a whale.
It's like being inside a whale. I haven't heard that one before.
Does it not give you those kind of vibes?
Not really, man.
I was thinking about it the other day because I was thinking about like the things I both like and annoy me about Prometheus, and a thing with it was, you know, yes, it uses Giga shapes, but it doesn't use the materials, so you don't feel like you're walking around inside this giant living thing.
It feels sterile, yeah.
So that's the thing I like about the Hive. I like about the Derelict. It feels like you are inside a living entity.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I get what you mean. Like the rib cages. You're in the rib cages.
Oh, so much key chasing on this mission. You know, I don't think I could sit in 2 hours anymore. You know, I did play this in chunks. Because
this couldn't hold you for 2 hours now?
I don't think so. Like, to be fair, I didn't do it in 2 hours because I died a lot. you know, sometimes it'd take me 40 minutes to do a mission. But there's probably not enough variety in what you're actually doing. But I could say the same of a lot of old games, to be fair, you know.
Oh, it forces you to only use the incinerator in this bit?
Yeah, and that's fine by me. So, slightly less dingy. They've done a better job of carpet upkeep on this this level. I do think we're near the end though. I think there's probably only a couple more. But I think as we get further on in the game, you know, the missions become a bit more significant in size. See, look, it's making me take it slow here without the motion tracker. Steadily going up. So, but did you play Infestation?
Only a little bit. I haven't gotten very far.
Okay. I'm not sure you'll have a good answer for this one then. I was going to say, you know, if they had have done something on the advanced stage, you know, between this and Infestation, what would you have sort of envisioned?
That's a good question. I guess a side-scroller, because I think side-scrollers made up the majority of those older Alien Predator games, you know. But I guess you could have made one like this too. And just have it with a little more spruced up graphics.
But then again, you got a lot of first-person shooters on the advanced.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I remember those.
That's why I was like earlier being like, I always wanted to see Alien Trilogy ported across. Because back then I had the advanced port of Doom, the advanced version of Duke Nukem. Again, it wasn't a port of 3D, but you know, it was a shooter. There was, I think there was Serious Sam on the Game Boy Advance as well.
Maybe I'm underestimating the advanced abilities.
I think Doom ended up being the first episode, maybe. It's been a while since I played it, but you know, those were like my two main games on the Game Boy Advanced. But then again, I mean, the Lynx sort of tried to do a first-person-y kind of shooter.
The Atari Lynx?
Yeah. So,
oh,
well,
I haven't thought of that in so long.
What we saw of the tech demo of AVP on it anyway looked like kind of a first-person shooter. But then again, you know, as we've discovered recently, there's lots of games that go on that we don't actually always know about, or a pitch that we don't actually always know about. You know, how many came out of the woodworks as being, you know, killed during the Disney buyout that we had no idea about. So who knows how many were potentials.
Well, which ones fell through with the Disney buyout?
So there was a Hadley's Hope thing, which is the only one that's springing to mind. There was about 2 or 3 that we found out about.
That we can't talk about.
No, that came out.
Oh.
It got reported. Where these companies would then, you know.
Oh, I know.
You know what I'm talking about now.
I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, we'll have to look those up. Now you got me curious.
That was more just an illustration of the fact that, you know, there's could have been games being worked on that we never knew about.
Yep. Well, even back in the day too. I mean, we had the cancellations of Crucible, which that's one I personally lament because I've always liked Obsidian, and that's just something we've never had before, right? Like an alien RPG, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that could have been really cool. And Knights of the Old Republic 2 that they did is one of my favorite games of all time. So I was really looking forward to that.
I was always a bit. I didn't understand how they were going to do it, or how it would fit in. I mean, don't get me wrong. Of course, I was going to play it, but I couldn't envision how it would work. But you know me. I'll welcome any Alien game and give it a go. If it's good, good.
And we got to see a bit more of the original Colonial Marines recently too. Some animations came out for that intro.
Oh yeah, yeah. There is builds of that in the ether somewhere, isn't there?
Yep.
We'll get hold of them one day.
One day.
You know, I keep feeling like we'd do a new one, but then I'm just like, yeah, but we just got Fireteam last year.
Yep. Last fall.
We've barely had that a year.
Predator the spring before that.
But it feels like so long.
It's just been a long time since we've had a good like PvP game.
Or just something with proper substance, you know?
Yeah. Well, I
Like,
guess Predator's PvP, but that's asymmetrical. But yeah, something that feels more like full-fleshed, right? Like full campaign, multiplayer component, like we've had with some of the other games.
Yeah. Like, as much as I do like Hunting Grounds and I do like Fireteam, they do feel thin on the ground.
But again, I wouldn't mind a retro-style game like this. Like,
Yeah.
I always like to see anything new.
And there's always good fan-made efforts going off as well. You know, there's Hope for the Future, and we've recently come across that Jaguar remake.
Oh, and that looks so good. Like that seems more like a remaster because it feels just like the old one, but with all the technical issues lifted. You know, like it plays with a good frame rate and it looks just like it did. Like that, you know. Kudos to that guy who's working on that because that looks awesome.
It'd be nice when we can get the co-op working as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing as well. You know, is they're trying to add this.
Oh, you got face hugged.
I did.
Get it off.
I think I think with that one, if you stood still, your life drained quicker, and then you had to like move about and stuff. Oh. He dropped a key card. I think I missed it. Did I notice it and go back for it eventually? See, the game the game never went easy on me.
Was there a difficulty select, or is it just one difficulty?
No, it's just one difficulty. Go on, Aaron. Go and find the key. I'm getting stuck on scenery there.
I know he dropped something.
I didn't. I had no idea. I think I'm like,
there it is.
What the hell? Where'd that come from? Oh, that guy must have dropped it. So, I don't think we've really saw it, you know, but like I'm wearing like a grey armour at the minute, and the other characters all have like different coloured armour as well, so you sort of different. Oh, a red key. What's all these key carrying aliens? Pretty simple map mission. Rescued scientists from Decade has informed us that there is a prototype weapon hidden in the living waters. Find this weapon. What do you think the weapon's going to be, Adam?
A laser, maybe?
Is it phase plasma pulse rifle?
Or is it a bioweapon? Is it a biological agent?
It's a weapon we haven't seen yet that's part of the standard outfit loadout.
Oh, maybe it's an engineer rifle.
So look at the quality of this carpet. This is luxury. We're going to see some of my favourite stuff soon.
You know, I don't think we've ever seen a carpeted anything in the Alien series.
Man, about you've had plenty in this game.
Well, you know what I mean, in like film media.
That's not been luxury. This is a luxury cruise liner.
But that is kind of interesting. Like, it kind of makes me think of. Ooh.
Look at the eggs.
Makes me think of Alien Isolation, the DLC where you have like Ransom's executive apartment, and he has that nice rug.
I never did finish the DLC.
Yeah, it's so tough.
It's too hard, yeah.
I finished some of them, but not too many of them.
Well, it's because they weren't particularly story-driven, were they? If they were more story-driven, I'd have probably tried harder to finish them.
The later ones kind of were, but yeah, like no cutscenes or anything like that.
So the eggs you don't really interact with. They're just there. And you tend
They
to
don't
find...
open at you or anything?
No. You tend to find the facehuggers already there. Or you find more facehuggers around the eggs. But I guess that might have been a bit too advanced for the time. Okay.
Oh,
Pardon me. I'm trying to think if some of the older games had the opening eggs prior to AVP2. I can't remember if Trilogy... I mean, you certainly came across eggs in Trilogy, but I can't remember.
I think they hatched in Trilogy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did.
Damn survivors. They just get me. Although I guess these aren't luxury quarters because look, people are sharing bunks.
Not much privacy. I mean, they're nice beds, but not much privacy.
It's a bit of a Titanic situation going off here. I guess these decks are going to get flooded first. Oh, damn. Chest bursters.
That old damaged sound where it's just like...
You see, they make me hesitant to want to rescue anybody. But I have to. God. I always find chest bursters annoying in pretty much any game, to be fair.
I don't think you ever fought them in 2010. I think they were always just a scripted thing.
Yeah, so it was that marine you rescue in the refinery.
Mm-hmm.
But you fought them in AVP2, you know, there was like it was a scripted moment, but when you could click like the hived up people and they'd either give you stuff or burst.
Yep, exactly.
But they'd then run around and attack you once the chest bursted. The chest bursters, not the people. They ain't running around anywhere. I think Trilogy before this had like infected people running around as enemies as well. And those zombie enemies in Aliens Arcade. Do you remember that from a
Oh
couple of
yeah,
weeks ago?
those were just straight up zombies. It's like, what?
Oh, that's hilarious.
That arcade was wacky, yeah.
So did we not get the weapon in this mission? Look at that rolling. It does make me think of DNA War. Granted, it's been a while since I've read that book, but it just makes me think of the battle balls in it. Here's the internet gaff.
With those old CRT screens.
Yeah. Which we would have still been using around 2000, wouldn't we?
I think we'd be getting the first flat screen monitors around then.
You'd have probably still seen them in common use.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they would still be around. Oh, Aaron being very cautious here. Creeping forward.
See, I did have to occasionally do it because sometimes I'd be like, no, I don't want to die. I don't know what's ahead of me. I haven't memorized this particular part of the map.
And you can't just hit continue.
I don't want to replay this mission again. It did take me a while to record complete playthrough, so I'm not going to lie. Quite a few of these missions I had to do quite a few times.
Time to heal.
Die, facehuggers. But I suppose on, thinking about it. Oh, he likes you. Thinking about it, like having these kind of missions where it's now like more prominent. The facehugger's the enemy, gives a bit of variety to it as such.
Is that the weapon?
It doesn't look like it, does it? That looks more like a flamethrower. I think the same thing right here.
Oh, you're like, did I get a new weapon? Let's check.
Oh, it was the smart gun.
But you already have the smart gun.
No, I didn't have the smart gun.
Oh, I thought you did.
That's what I was getting at earlier. I don't think I really like the smart gun, if I'm being honest. Or if my memory works. I think I've killed pretty much everything as well. I don't think I get to really show it off in this mission.
They'll let you back on your ship now, I guess.
And that being an experimental, I know it's only a Game Boy Color game, but that being an experimental weapon doesn't quite jive, I think, with continuity.
Oh, the smart gun?
Yeah. It's like, no, that's standard issue.
It seemed pretty tried and true in the movie. All survivors have been saved. Evacuation of the Thanatos has been started. You are in the heart of the xenomorph nest.
I mean, if all the survivors have been saved, doesn't that mean the evacuation's been finished?
I don't know.
Adam.
Oh, there's your hive. Yeah, it's a brown hive. It's an Alien 3 hive.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that.
That is cool looking though. Very geekery. I dig it.
So they even managed to capture it in Game Boy Color.
Okay, I'm a bit more impressed as the levels have gone on. It does switch the environments a bit.
I think I'm like, let's show off the smart gun.
But sorry, what were you about to say?
I don't remember.
Oh, sorry.
That's fine. Look at the weapon bits on that. That looks like radioactive. That looks like plasma.
I took your train of thought and I blasted it out of the airlock.
Along with those smart gun blasts. See, I don't think it's as powerful. It doesn't seem as powerful to me. I think eventually I'll probably switch back to the flamethrower and be like, nah.
That flamethrower is pretty beastly.
I think it's probably the most powerful flamethrower in any of the Alien games.
The sound effect sounds more like dripping than a smart gun.
I always find it funny that the flamethrowers are actually pretty useful in the Alien games, considering you never see them really be useful in the films.
Yeah.
But I think that used to be a joke about 2010's flamethrowers, like, oh, it's just like in the films.
Yeah, because those ones were kind of useless. I think in the PC version they buffed them a little bit.
Yeah, they patched the PC a lot more. If I remember rightly, this level actually got a bit awkward because there was lots of diagonals, lots of like obstructed paths with eggs and stuff like that, which made this level a bit challenging. I think this is the point where I go, oh, fuck it.
I'm done with the smart gun.
Went through all that hassle for that. Now I can't even hear. I couldn't even hear him then. Oh. Game, why you do this to me? Nothing like a bit of pre-firing and knowledge of the maps.
Yeah, I think the Game Boy game I sunk the most time into is easily Pokemon games. I think it was like my Pokemon machine, pretty much.
I only had blue, yellow, and silver back then, though.
Yeah, I had red. Ooh, a ladder.
I wonder where I have to go.
It looked like you were actually wondering that there.
And if I remember rightly, this was actually the point in this map where you did have to go, this particular level where you did have to go rescue. So even when it forces you into these locations, it's still treated the same in terms of being where your dead dudes go. Well, not dead dudes, sorry. Captured. Look at that, I'm the ultimate badass.
Yeah, I mean, you seem to be holding your own, unless you've just cut out the bits where you had to restart.
No. I only cut out the bits where I get lost. Well, no, and where I have to completely restart the missions. Like I said, I had to do them quite a few tries. But it's funny because the deaths are normally caused by like that one particular alien that just like gets you stuck or catches you and you can't quite escape from.
And there were a bunch of them there.
Oh, we are in the hive, the belly of the beast. Look at how many of these advanced and soldier bosses there are. I don't think we've run across the Praetorians yet, have we? Sorry, the Guardians. I probably should have cut out all the healing, but
They should have just had like a quick heal button or something.
I don't know if that would have been a thing at the time, though.
Yeah, I guess not. Gotta dig through your inventory.
I think I was like, oh, for God's sake, I didn't mean to do that. To be fair, I mean, the digging through the inventory stuff still persisted into the DS years, and I suppose even now on the Switch stuff. Well, and any MMO. Or any RPG. I don't think we can really complain about it.
Yeah, maybe I'm just... I don't know.
I think this is actually really the only significant Hive map level, sorry. I wish I'd stop saying map. There's at least one more where we get our big end battle, but...
That is a cool animation there for their roll.
The roll. Don't you think it's kind of silly, though?
Yeah, but it's still kind of cool at the same time.
That's a pillow strewn around. I think when we get over there. Yeah. Random pillow in the middle of the hive.
People were camping in there.
We do not recommend you camp in alien hives. This is a PSA. Unless you're
Aaron
wearing...
probably would, because he likes the hives.
Only if I'm wearing like one of those pheromone disguiser things from
And you can
Stronghold.
dance around and sing French songs.
Oh my god. I reread my review on that book the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still think Infiltrator was a wasted opportunity.
I think it was the closest the video game book has gotten to being good.
It still wasn't very good.
You liked it more than Stalking Shadows, right? Or did you like Stalking Shadows?
No, I liked it slightly more than Stalking Shadows. Because it had a lot more elements and things in that I was interested in. I didn't do anything with them really, but they were there. I'm going to go back and reread Cold Forge and Into Charybdis soon.
Yeah, those are obviously good ones.
Fantastic, I think, is the word you're looking for.
Long read, though, Into Charybdis.
It don't matter.
That's true. If you got the time, go for it.
I beasted through Phalanx in a day and a bit. I was... That's when I knew it was good. Was when it wouldn't let me go. And Phalanx is only slightly shorter than Into Charybdis.
Yeah, I think those are the two longest Alien books. Those two. Both really good.
I beasted through Cold Forge in a day as well. If I can't put it down, I know it's fantastic. I'm hoping Inferno's Fall will treat me the same. Oh, I think that one tried to shoot something at me then. There's a lot of backtracking in the game. If only to give yourself breathing room from... Like, no, stop it! Stop chasing me! The hive looks fantastic. If a bit brown on the floor.
Yeah.
I mean, more floor textures would have been nice, but like the wall textures are... Sprites.
We have computer labs in there, too.
I think this... I'm like, why can't I pick this up? Oh, because I have a full inventory.
Maybe the computer lab was there before, and the hive was just...
Yes, yes. I don't think the aliens moved the the computers to the... No.
Hey, aliens need to surf the internet, too.
Yeah, but what if they put it into a room where the ports aren't patched in?
Yeah. I suppose you're right.
Hi, IT, I've moved these computers and they don't work. Not that I've ever run across that before in my day-to-day life.
No,
Look at that, I'm missing it
Aaron
there.
never
Yeah.
gets asked for IT help. Yeah, he can't get to the door, can he?
Oh,
there you go.
that was lucky. I remember my cheeks clenching at that moment. I was like, no, I'm stuck. And they just ran right by me. Okay, I think this is our big boss battle.
The Guardian boss.
Oh, maybe not then.
Evacuation complete. Self-destruct started. Mother has detected the queen alien ahead. Destroy the queen. And don't even think about coming back here until you do.
Even if the self-destruct started. This took me a while to get through, and I can't remember how much of this I've edited. I think I left some of my deaths in because so you could see where the capturedness goes. Capturedness, that's not a word. Where the captured characters went. Now, I will admit this was a boring ass boss fight. An absolute boring fight.
Is this another she sits on her ass the whole time boss fight? Yeah.
Spitting. At least she spits acid at me. But then just spawns.
Yeah, where's the Guardian? We haven't seen that
Yeah,
yet.
I don't think I've seen it. Unless it just looks so similar. That's the thing.
Maybe, yeah.
The bosses started to look incredibly similar. But I guess there's only so much you can do with whatever bittage this was.
Oh, they got you.
They did. So if I remember rightly, I left me rescuing myself in this one so you could see what happened once she captured it. Because I didn't do that when we cut to it before.
We got the fast-paced self-destruct music going now.
And I guess on this one I thought, ooh, maybe the grenade launcher will be a good idea. No, I just went straight for the rescue. I think I got fed up at this point. This battle took me far too long. So the option there was, do you want to continue as who you are, or do you want to go back and choose a new character? And I was like, no, I'm going to continue as I am. So that's what happened when you rescue your captured Marines. Not massively exciting, but I think at some point I then realised I can use the eggs as cover. Because she spits acid back at you. Or not acid, it's yellow sprites for some reason. I wasn't using them as cover very well, but I realised you could use them as cover. I think that's basically all the health you get for this mission. You get one go at it, which is why it took me a few times. Because you can get mugged, absolutely mugged by the alien she spawns in.
Get her. Get her.
I find these fights so boring when it's the static shooting at you. Because it is very arcadey in feel.
Yeah, boss fights are always tricky to get right. I guess the games that do it these days so well are the Souls games, right? Like, I remember playing a bit of Bloodborne, and I was like, damn, these boss fights are good. Like, they're really difficult, but they're really rewarding. I don't know, what's the best boss fight in Alien and Predator game history?
The queen on the Colonial Marine campaign of the original. Of classic.
Where you blast her out the airlock? Yeah.
Where you blast her out the airlock.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like the one where you go...
I got it!
Hive as the Predator as well.
Now this I like. So the last couple of missions are basically you just speed running through. You've got 2 minutes and 40 seconds to do 3 missions and make it back to the dropship. I like that. It's a bit of tension. Although I've got to take the time to obviously swap my weapons, you know.
See, the Resident Evil games do that a lot too. Like, there's hardly a Resident Evil game that doesn't end with a self-destruct sequence that there's a timer on.
I mean, it's very Alien as well.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, I'll rescue you. Don't worry.
Make it quick.
Just absolutely legging it by everybody.
Due to the ship's self-destruct, all doors are locking down. You have 10 or 70 seconds to reach the exit before being trapped. Okay, that's better than 10 seconds.
Am I going to make it though, Adam? That's the question.
I suspect you will. If you've come this far.
We've come this far, we must go on.
You just killed the Queen Alien, so I would hope you could just run back to your ship.
You know, there's all these aliens in my way. I thought I'd cleared all this space. My fellow Marines aren't very helpful at securing all the bits I've already been through.
So I gotta say, one of the best bosses is the newborn from Alien Resurrection on PlayStation. That was a good boss fight.
And that's hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard, but it's not as hard as the rest of the game. The rest of the game is just
Okay.
impossible.
Do you have to get it shot out the window?
Yes, you have to blow it out the airlock, but there's a lot. You have to like fight it a bit first, so it's not just that.
Yeah, fair enough. You see, those are the kind of ones I like, where it's thematic to the source material. That's why I like the Queen one so much as well. In plastic.
This is it. Get to the dropship and fast.
It's a good job I choose the speedy characters. I don't even think I needed to go to the flamethrower here, but I wasn't risking it. I don't even have the countdown on this one. That's how little time I've got left.
Oh, you made it. Made it to the dropship.
Oh, he's only gone and done it. I hope the our ship had de-docked. Because we came on a Conestoga, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope that moved out the way. You have successfully escaped Thanatos. The Queen Alien is dead, and you and the rest of the Marines are on your way back to Earth. The many survivors thank you. Well, if we were just blowing up the spaceship, why did I have to kill the Queen? That seems unnecessary.
Happens again. That's an interesting thing to end on. We could ask the developer about that. We're like, were you trying to say something with
Daniel Weiser, that was it. So he did a lot of the stuff himself. Programming wise, that is.
Well, hope you all enjoyed our journey through the Thanatos. Journey and escape.
As much as I love this game. Although I think I'm okay to not come back to it for a little while. But I still love this game, you know, it's still a huge part of my fandom history, memory. And I'm glad we decided to revisit it for the live streams, which then prompted me to go, fuck it, let's do a full playthrough. If you made it through the entire video, thank you. Appreciate it. If you like what you see, you know, please make sure you're hitting the like button, leaving comments, subscribing. You all know how it works now. That kind of thing helps our visibility in YouTube algorithm and all that kind of crap that we have to sprout at the end of every
Tell your
episode.
friends, we are this close to 7,000 subscribers. Please.
And share the videos as well. You know, if there's fellow fans that you know who might be interested, please do. We do generally stream most Sundays at 7 p.m. UK time, midday east. No, west. Are you west?
I'm Mountain Time. I'm in the middle.
Okay, so
Well,
around midday in America. So come and join us. We stream it on YouTube. Come and join us for a chat. We'll play the various games. Of course, be sure to check out the website, avpgalaxy.net. We do have message boards that are still alive and kicking. If that's how you prefer your discussion with organizedness rather than the chaos that is Facebook, come and sign up and join us in.
Organizedness?
Organizedness, yeah. I speak England very good. We've got editorial pieces. We post the news on there written as well. So come check it out. Come join in with some fellow fans and nerd out with us. This has been Corporal Hicks.
And Ridgetop.
Thank you for watching.